So we're pulling up to the field. We had our good family friend helping us out today. He's going to do some replanting, and then a little bit later we got our grandma's birthday to go to. So got a full day of that, and then I think afterwards I'm going to the lake. So, me and Alan are out doing the replants now. I'm just gonna ask him a few questions. I'm sure some of you know him pretty well already. So, how long have you been farming, Alan?
Oh, 35 years.
35 years? Yeah?
34, it was my 34th crop, I believe, that I planted, yeah.
Sure. You were pretty good friends with my dad?
Yeah, with your mom and dad both. Good people, great people.
How did you and my mom and dad get to be such good friends?
They're older than my wife and I, and years ago they used to take vacations with friends, and they had a fill-in spots, and they needed a week to fill in, or half a week. So they asked us, and we went up, and yeah, that's how we kind of first.
Sure.
I think I was 21, and I just kind of moved back home or whatever, and yeah, had a lot of fun with them over the years.
Yeah, because you were more of Slayton.
I went to school in Valentin, but your dad was 10 years older than me. Mom and dad are 10 years older than me.
I didn't know that you went to Valentin, I guess. I saw you went to MCC or whatever it was back then, but
I hung around there a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Went to church there, and a lot of friends in Slayton area. Yep.
Sure.
I took the drone up in the air here because I wanted to give everyone a good visual of what we're trying to accomplish. In the upper right-hand side of the screen, you'll notice the red highlighted areas, and these are all the specific targeted areas that we need to replant due to drowning out during that last rain. And we're so glad that Alan offered to help, because his 12-row planter is a lot more effective at getting these areas planted without damaging a lot of the new crop that's growing around it that is like 2 to 3 inches high right now. So basically we're just picking these spots and planting them. So I'm down here in this replant area. Nick and Alan are right over there replanting this, and I just thought it'd be curious where you get some of these spots where there is corn coming up, but then it skips, multiple feet. There's another one. So I dug down here, and basically in these really wet areas, after it rained, we got one here, and I dug down and was able to find this one, and it looks, there's some roots coming on it and everything. But I think the major issue here is when you get these really wet areas, you have some that comes up, and I don't know, this was still 2 inches down. It's like the emergence of that is so uneven. I don't think this ever would have a chance to do anything, because the corn right next to it will be, I would say, a foot tall or something before that ever gets out of the ground. So, and I don't think that it would be able to compete for the resources needed to grow. So that's why we're just coming back in here, and you can pretty much see the outline here on the field pretty clearly of where there was water standing, and basically just replanting everything inside, basically right here where that line is, just so all of this will come up at the same time, hopefully.
Well, at least Kyle's keeping himself busy picking some rocks for us while we're doing this.
Just doing my part to help out, picking these rocks here. Looks like when it rained, there's some pretty good washouts, some pretty decent sized rocks. I mean, I don't know if you can tell on video, but those are like basketball plus. So they're planting away here, and I'm gonna pick up these rocks so they don't make their way into the head of that combine this fall.
Do you have any more planting to do or replants left?
I've got about 20 acres is underwater right now.
Sure. So kind of like what we have up there?
Yep. And
Sure.
I got one other little spot to do. Yep.
Sure. Yeah, that lake up there, normally if we get a few pretty big good rains and then we get another big one, normally the water will be pushing out of those tile intakes and really leaves a mess, and it takes forever for it to go down because the lake level is so high it has nowhere to go. I know, I believe it's either that field over there or I can't remember where it is, but it heads north about 5 miles and it drains into a dredge ditch. But ours drains to a lake that's just, I don't know, half a section over. So when it's really low ground, it doesn't like to drain very well into other lakes.
I'm still out here just kind of picking up some rocks. Really, there's nothing better to do with my time while I'm out here. So, but it's interesting. I just stumbled on this rock. It's kind of like, basically, it looks like not a rock at all. It's old. I don't know. Let's see if I can get this to show, but it's like the old foundation. So you can see like some mortar and then brick of a building that, I don't know, we're out in the middle of nowhere in my mind. We're half mile off the closest road. So stuff like this is always just interesting to me. It's like, I wonder how many decades or whatnot you'd have to go back, and maybe I'm sure there was probably a building site sitting here at one point, but definitely not in the last 30-40 years, I don't think. So just kind of cool stuff you find. I also found what did I find out there today? This, I don't know, it looks like it's an old T-post sitting out in the middle. I have no idea how long it's been out there, but I mean, Nick runs he runs quad tracks, and his planter has tracks and everything, but you definitely don't want to run something like this through the tire, I don't think. I think that's about it for interesting finds out here. You know, piece of field tile and just some basic rocks, but I just thought it was interesting to find like a chunk of foundation that I don't know how old it is.
on my rented piece north of Garvin now. There's 2 spots, one there, and then there's one back there a little ways. So yeah, this field did pretty good, I thought. Normally those spots are pretty bad. So I don't know how much tiling is done in this field, but I thought it did pretty good for how much rain we got here. I think it was 6 inches in town we got. So yeah, probably about another hour of this and then he should be done. So this is our spray trailer. Normally it just sits in the shed here, and we just pull the trailer or the sprayer up and fill right there, because this trailer isn't the most roadworthy anymore. It's kind of a POS, but it works just to sit here and make one trip out to Florence area for one fill. But that's about all it does. We got 3,000 gallon water tanks in the front of it. And then I just put that inductor cone in this here, the wider one I did. Normally we do 2 bulk tanks, a pallet of AMS, and then we got a few little jugs that we got to put in the inductor cones. But normally we just load those up right here, just a few at a time. And then, yeah, I want to build some racking above the storage or the bulk tanks, just so then don't have to carry the boxes up all the time while you're trying to just get back out and spray. But with 9,000 gallons of water on board, we can do about 9 loads if the tanks are completely full. And then normally about 4 or 5 o'clock we're out of water. So it's a nice but a bad thing. I'm thinking about putting in a couple, probably just one 6,000 gallon tank somewhere in this shed, just so you got the extra water there if you forget to turn the hydrant on or something, which I've done before. Then you don't have to run to town and get more water, nothing like that. But yeah, we normally just spray during the day, and then we have a hydrant right over there that we use to fill this overnight. But yeah, this is how our setup works. Normally we haven't had any issues with it. We have our inductor cones before the pump. I know some people think that we're crazy for doing it that way, but that pump is probably 8-9 years old and we've never had to replace it. So I think once you dump the chemical in and you give it a good flush, it's not too bad for them anyway. But Central says next week sometime we should start spraying. From what I've seen today, there wasn't any weeds out there really. I don't know what you saw, but
I didn't see any. Or not, nothing outside of just maybe the edges a little bit, but
if anything, I'll take the Ranger out and just spray the edges quick and call that good for another couple days. Just do a burn down on the headlands. Something to talk about with Brian and Spencer a little more. But that's about it on that.
yeah, I don't know if you can hear that horrible noise coming from up here, but I can tell you one of my projects here this summer when we get really slow is I'm going to be taking a chainsaw back here and I am going to cut down all these volunteer trees, because when you're working inside that shed, this screeching on that steel is almost unbearable, I guess is what I would say. So we'll get those hacked down and give them another 10 years to come back.
Yeah, it needs to be done, but it's so thick back there with trees and vines and stuff. It'd take a long time.
Or you just watch. I'll
Finish that
document it, so.
Yeah.
So yeah, the plan is, I guess, what? So it's holiday weekend. We got grandma's birthday today.
Yep.
Happy 85th birthday to my grandma. She's an avid viewer of the videos, so got to give her that shout out. It'll make her day, I can assure you that.
Yeah.
So, but next week early, we're gonna dig this trailer out. I mean, really, we just want to make sure that we got the, your pump's gonna work. We got that gassed up. We need to get the sprayer out of storage over there. We've kind of had that on a couple videos, just in the background a little bit, but get that out. You said you need to run the antifreeze out of it from being winterized.
Just load it up with water and make sure there's nothing leaking and all the pumps on the sprayer are working.
Check nozzles probably, or not?
Well, just run water through it, get all the antifreeze out of everything, and then while you're doing that, you can just walk by all the nozzles and make sure that all of them are spraying and they don't have a bunch of gunk in them or nothing.
Right.
But
yeah, so I think that'll be the next big thing, as far as a farming standpoint. Everything's in the ground. Replants are done today. We don't know about beans yet. I mean,
I don't think their beans should be too bad.
No.
Unless we get a big rain.
Right, exactly. If we don't get a big rain, I don't think there'll be any replant on the beans.
No.
Probably. And then really it's just spraying. Get this all done, and then after we spray, you're gonna have to spray beans twice.
Yep.
We kind of know that.
We're probably gonna get them going on pre-emerge. We're gonna have the co-op do that. I believe is still the plan while I'm spraying corn. I think Tuesday we're gonna call them and have them put us on the list anyway. So, yeah, you got anything else?
No, I mean, I think after that, then we start going, the spring as we've been doing everything, we've been writing down all these things we want to get done and just kind of like the nice things to get set up for next year and even this year, wash some equipment, stuff like that. So
yeah,
that's kind of what the plan is for summer, I guess.
Yep. So, well, I think we're gonna end it there. But if you like the video, like, subscribe, leave us a comment if you got anything you want to say. But till next time, thank you.